Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here. That's quite a blunt introduction, but...
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me.
I'm not sure I understand what you're...
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a...
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better...
How is the situation?
You want to hear the situation is all...
So what do you do exactly in this hospital?
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people...
It sounds like things have been a bit rough.
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital?
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not...
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation?
It's a complete
Are you really smuggling?
And why not? I've already been attacked by a patient.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor.
I'd like to see...
Wise choice, Doctor. Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Sheesh, माइक ऑफ करके खेल रहा था मैं. Midnight in the garden of good and evil. Enter the backyard of garden. Find your office in the second floor. Investigate करने जाना है. फर्स्ट चैप्टर क्यों इसलिए दिखा रहे हैं. सिटीजन इन्वेस्टिगेशन काम करनी है मेरे को. ये तो बताया ही नहीं इसने. इसके बारे में नहीं आता.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Rogue Skull 6 level. मेरे से भी ज़्यादा है इसका. पहले ही भाई चलना ही नहीं है। रिकवरी अभी टाइम बहुत बड़े लेवल का वो है। फोटोग्राफी निकालना पड़ा स्माइलिंग लविंग मिला ही नहीं यार एक्सपीरियंस कैसे मिलती होगी प्लेटिनियम में। ठीक है बैक गार्ड मिला नहीं रास्ते जगह जा रही चले गया अपना वापस।
The Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor
He was also very confident about your future.
What is the Pembroke Hospital?
This hospital is not...
It's more than enough.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This...
What can you
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander.
Tell me more about Cherish.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish she would get out of his office.
पर्सनल क्वेश्चन पर्सनल फीस के बारे में क्या ऑप्शन है ही नहीं रहता।
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
नहीं इससे बात करने के लिए इसके हाथ ऊपर ही जाए। मैं आज लेवल 2 चाहिए इस लेवल मैं शायद लेवल 3 है लेवल 2
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr.
Dr. Swansea has already took
Did he really?
all members of...
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised.
You must know, blood transfusions are doctors...
How are...
Not good, just...
An invisible enemy?
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting.
Do you think this hospital can survive?
We are all volunteers.
I'm not
Brilliant professionals, most of them.
Most.
It would be inappropriate for me to...
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tibbets. He should be a stand...
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself...
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something...
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end,
If it pleases you, Vampyr.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working?
if it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore.
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Why does Dr.
If it wasn't for him...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as...
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Oh, मेरी भी तो चल रहा है. Investigation करेंगे.
Horrific liar.
Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
अरे, अभी भी नहीं हो सकते.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about...
No. We must keep on healing all those poor...
Nurse Brannigan...
She should not have told you that. I will have a...
You don't have to blame her for...
I'm not that kind of man, my dear.
You're exhausting...
No.
Nurse Brannigan, you don't have to blame...
Oh, मैं choice कर दी गई.
Do you need any med...
Come on. Don't be...
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're not...
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal?
You keep calling me mortal.
Well, Dr. Reed.
Do you require...
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed.
And why do you believe...
I don't need to believe anything. It is what...
Please.
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades.
I see.
Never. Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't...
I'm assuming...
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies.
Who are these enemies?
I cannot say for sure. But
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you. To care...
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find...
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match...
मुझे क्यों बता रही है? Wrong target. New investigation. कौन सी investigation? क्या चल रहा है?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart...
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal?
I'm curious to know who you were.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Century...
Century of my life. So when I
I'll leave you, Miss...
Maybe those he those
So many deaths.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my face. No.
I'm Dr. Reed.
You guessed right, Doctor. German.
Where were you stationed?
I really don't want to...
No offense. I was pushing too.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's...
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me.
She could decide to bite less.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doc.
You do realize she's mentally...
In her madness, she never refers to my scars.
How is your...
Oh, it's...
Can I ask...
It's the pa...
Who is treating...
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried.
My face hurts so much more.
Can I...
Nurses...
Soldier, do you need a...
I'm fine. Just do...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Bring back the wall.
Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed, is it?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the fact.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, but...
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
How did you end up...
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior.
Why did he...
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood.
You dared to enter this awful place alone.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends.
Do you know Tom Watts? The bar...
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand. Good old...
People are still in dis...
How could it be otherwise?
Who should I avoid in this part of town?
Not really. Most men and women are just... What is the situation has always been tough, with a lot...
Who leads...
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the...
Has the gang...
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know?
What do you do?
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless.
Are you a priest, Mr.
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross?
How do you go mid-range?
Have you made...
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such...
You never came to see her here at Pembroke?
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor.
How do you...
I feel like...
You're in good hands here.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
XP कहाँ से मिली है तुम्हें? कौन है? Oh, एक और nurse.
Good evening, nurse. And I'm Dr. Jonathan...
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated.
How long?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning.
You're right.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to...
How is the...
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than...
Why is Milton grumpy?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation.
Why does Milton dislike Doc?
I don't know. Just ask him.
Do you need medical...
I'm fine.
How would you...
It's serious.
You must get a hold of it.
Sorry. I mean,
Do you need...
I'm fine.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
ये लोग उनसे बात कर सकते हैं विलियम अभी नहीं हुआ
Good evening.
I need blood, Doctor.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel...
I'm not sure, Doctor.
Would you say you and Miss...
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it.
Do you plan to...
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody?
I'll leave you, Miss... Good evening, Nurse Brand.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
लाइफ देना जन
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your...
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since...
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not...
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly...
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words.
I have some good news, Milton.
What?
I retrieved your wallet.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what?
He's not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you.
चालीस दिया है
I'd like...
Wise choice, Doctor.
30 ही दे दुगने दे दी
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
What's going on between...
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you.
Maybe you're right. But we support...
You do realize you could both get fired.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hop?
Goodbye.
Another night of the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
हमारा सब हो गई इन्वेस्टिगेशन करी मैंने इसलिए थोड़ी सी इन्वेस्टिगेशन की और कहाँ पर है पिप्पा हॉकिंस
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
पर्सनल क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे सीधा
Pepper, I know you're very...
Yes? Milton Hooks is my...
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse.
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest blood...
ये बोल दिया
How would you...
It's...
Nurse...
I wish...
Goodbye, Nurse.
एक्सपी बढ़ती जा रही है इन्वेस्टिगेशन करती रहनी चाहिए ओह डॉर्थी ये है बड़ी
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you.
स्वाद नहीं कर सकते
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, sir.
Reed, yes, I've been informed about your arrival.
Does my arrival inconvenience?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swan.
It seems you have bad...
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress.
We can at least agree on something. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have...
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but you're...
And what exactly is that supposed to be?
I served in the war, just like you. But unlike...
Be careful what you insinuate.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theory.
This is ridiculous.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you.
I don't know.
I don't
And what exactly?
I served in the...
Be careful what...
I only want...
This is ridiculous.
You see?
अच्छा मैं अपना decision बना लिया इसके बाद
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please...
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice.
I know we've never met before.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed.
Aren't you too old for such jealousy? It really won't do you any good.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reed.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine...
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around.
Carelessness?
We're here to save lives.
I don't intend to run any radical...
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are...
Disapproves modern medical method. अच्छा. तो ये hint है क्या इसके बारे में?
Do you need my...
Not at all.
Thank you for your...
हाँ इसे डॉक्टर से बात हुई.
Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are all...
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed
Tell me about the doctor.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there.
Doc, what do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a bill.
Are you satisfied?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured.
I won't lie to you about it.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleague...
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, tell me about it.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm...
I was more curious about what you were doing.
I'm a carpenter. And a good one.
Is there anything...
I'm all...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later. Good evening.
No,
Rick.
I don't want to talk. My throat...
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here.
Yes.
Could you at least tell me your name?
Mortimer.
How...
So painful, I'd rather not talk.
Do you need any...
I'm afraid I may, sir.
Give medicine. Give medicine का तो option ही नहीं है.
I will see you... I have to go now, sir. But...
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer
What do you think of your reception here?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since...
Is there something in particular that's bothering...
Some of the staff were not especially... welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
What can...
Not much to say.
May I...
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young...
Are you really that rich?
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace.
Tell me more about your arrival.
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed.
She charged you?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
की दवाई बनानी पड़ेगी इसे देने के लिए तो रूम में जाके वही हो गए बात से यहाँ कोई बंदा नहीं डॉक्टर
Good evening, Doctor. I believe Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us. I am Thoreau Strickland. Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer. Please, I'm a great admirer. I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect. I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories. As long as you're cautious and methodical. You may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail. You're not the first one to warn me. What made you choose? I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work. It's always a pleasure to share some. This epidemic may be the century's most terrible. What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd? It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that with the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside. I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use. So you believe it's just a question of jealousy? Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is. What can... Well, it has always been an honor to work with... Do you need... Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting. Do you want me to play the errand boy? Oh, no, Dr. Reed. But if you went... I see. Well, give me the address. You seem quite optimistic. I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test. Questions remain about our capacity to resolve. True, true. Last summer, during the first wave... Tell me more about your willingness to experiment. Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood... What is it you really want? Fair question. I want nothing but to say... This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of... I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. Do you think keeping his distance was... All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings. Tell me... Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real... But why would he hide such crude... Because he is a proud father. Ashamed of... Goodbye, Doctor. Good evening, Dr. Tell me about your injury, Harvey.
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because...
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm...
How could your job be responsible for...
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a jet.
Tell me more.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshop.
What happened? How are your children?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is Why Ellen didn't bring them with her that night?
I'm sorry for your loss.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer.
True. Goodbye for now.
I will not let you down,
I'm quite busy, right?
Tell me, Waverly, what do you...
Strickland is playing with his patient's life.
Are you thinking about something in...
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe.
And are you not afraid?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that.
Why do you wish...
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should...
If you are going to lead this surgery...
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his...
Do you need...
Not at all.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye, Nassau. Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nurse. It's locked, all right. It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Treatment for fatigue. इसलिए मुझे कुछ ब्लू चाहिए जो ब्लू पता नहीं कहाँ मिलेगा और ये भी चाहिए नहीं कौन खरीदेगा अटैक स्पीड 5 सेकेंड क्या वैल्यू है अटैक की
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel the flowers dying. It needs water.
Water comes around. Article on. Increase your life regeneration when using bite in combat. Damage inflicted when using bite in combat. Mesmerize में मार सकता है, कहाँ है मेरा mesmerize? Passive, ultimate, tactical, blood barrier. Your blood capacity is using bite in combat.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? The flower's dying. It needs water.
It's freezing.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war...
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products...
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke. And
perhaps I should look there first. Where is this?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way, then. Thank you, nurse.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad is...
It really depends.
Why then do you always work the nights?
At the Pembroke, we're always...
Your dedication to the Pembroke does...
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor.
Lack of sleep and the
London's...
That's all.
टॉयलेट से मेन गेट के बाहर निकलूँगा, उसके बाद घूम के जाना पड़ेगा मुझे ये वहाँ पर।
Good need blood, doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need...
I'm fine.
Goodbye, nurse. Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening. I'm always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead. A colleague? I not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana. Pawnbroker and humble guardian of this mall. What do you mean? You used to be a doctor? No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn. Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded? Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. And, sir, as a medic during the war, I learned... How did you get this job? After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker. Do you work? Yes, very... Why clothes? It was for sanitary reasons. What? Because these... Have we met? I don't think so. When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me. Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death? No. I believe we must do all the good we can. Why? Do you think you would enjoy immortality? I don't think so. Don't mistake me. Do you really believe goodwill? As I said, sir, everything decays. Quite depressing. Yes. But the good news is... So you're... No, I am not. You're a wise man. No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. Up? Yes, sir. Oh. Who comes? I'm very cautious, sir. What kind? With the quarantine. Do you need... I'm feeling all right. Please show me what you have. Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really.
Opium. अरे ये तो सीधा opium ये
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
हॉस्पिटल के अंदर से रास्ता था गया फालतू बदल गया हूँ डैम यहाँ मैं खड़ा था उसके राइट में आके खेलता हूँ। कोई मिलेगा नहीं ना। स्क्रीन चल रही है, चैट स्क्रीन है मेरी। चैट स्क्रीन है मेरी, चैट स्क्रीन है। हैं?
बढ़िया चैटे करते हैं लोग।
खतरनाक है ना। आज क्या है, मंडे है ना। आज तो कौन ही फ्री होता है मेरे अलावा। हाँ तेरे ऐसे लोग। पेपर खत्म हो, खुशियाँ ही खुशियाँ। क्या? ठीक है, थैंक यू। ठीक है। लड़े तो पूरा होगा।
It's locked, all right. Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
बहुत सारे टेस्ट भी
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Which blood sample to say underground I go. Oh भाई shit डरा दिया है ठीक है
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. And the blood.
boom, boom. Professional soul player. अब मैं अपनी स्पेशल अटैक यूज करूँगा. ये है ये. One shot हो गया. कैमरा नहीं है. Oh, very good. Death report.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
You can acquire a new type of offhand weapon. Oh damn, ये तो बहुत बढ़िया चीज मिली है. Main hand weapon चाहिए, shatter दे दूँगा, मैं shatter. Offhand weapon चाहिए, used stock. Equipping with a 200 weapon will unequip your offhand weapon. और क्या है? R1 and
It's locked. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive. The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error.
Yeah, boy.
Tippett has...